You talk about the right team. Someone's out there trying to create a business, they want to hire someone. How do you create the right team? What do you look for in people? I noticed that you always have the same people around you. Your team has stayed pretty much the same. How do you find good employees?
There's two ingredients. The first one is loyalty. Loyalty that cannot be bought, that cannot be sold. Whether it's the relationship that I've been in for 10 years, whether it's the people that work on my core team, there are people that I've known for an extended period of time that have proven their loyalty to me. And I reward loyalty, and most of them have become millionaires. They're doing extremely well. The second one is longevity. Are you willing to go far? Because when you're in a relationship, whether it's with a person or whether it's with a business partner or whether it's with employees, you're allocating and investing resources, time, energy, and attention towards this relationship. So you need to make sure that, is this person here for the long run, or is this person here just because they want something out of me? And if that is clear, that's fine. Go hire a contractor, go get somebody that is willing to be involved with you short term, then there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to your core team, when it comes to your business partners, when it comes to the people that are really close in your organization, there's two questions that need to be answered. Are they loyal? And are they willing to go the distance? Because in a startup culture, dude, it gets tough. As much as Silicon Valley's painted startup culture as this beautiful, everything is good, there's always money being printed, it's not like that.
It's because
The startup culture
funding.
yeah, well, even then, the startup culture is very difficult because you need to find product market fit. Many times you're not going to find it. Two, you're burning cash trying to figure out how to attract clients or how to retain clients or how to find traction. Three is there's a lot of money that gets involved in product development, whether it's software, info products, e-commerce. It's really, really intense. Then what happens when you start losing money? What happens when the bank account starts getting strained? As much as I've been able to make millions of dollars in days, I've also lost millions of dollars in days. And that's just
Really?
yeah, of course, absolutely. It's just
what?
investing, investing. But once again,
Luna?
I made money with Luna. For example, my overhead right now with Capital Club is about $450,000 a month.
Wow.
Right, so that means the business needs to be generating over $10,000 every single day just to be able to break even. Right,
That's a lot of stress on your shoulder.
Exactly. You have over 100 families that you need to feed. There's a big responsibility. So the people that you're involved with, are they willing to go the distance, the hard times, the difficult times? And are they loyal to the cause, the mission, the vision, and the values? And are they loyal to you as a founder? Are they loyal to you as a leader? And if you can answer those two questions, then the person, and obviously they have to be good. You don't want to be carrying a loser with you that has no skills because they're going to hold you down. So if they're good at their job, you can always teach skills, but you can't teach loyalty and you can't teach patience. These are two things that are transcendental. But if those two areas are covered, then you can work with people and build a phenomenal team.
I don't think a lot of people mention longevity. When you ask them how to find good employees, they don't mention longevity. They say hardworking, they say smart. You may think for example, the most common things, but longevity is a good one because it doesn't matter how hardworking or how focused or how much someone's willing to put in the beginning. If they're not going to stay the whole time, after all the time you spend teaching them the skills, or you finally build something good and then they leave, then what's the point?
And you don't necessarily need the smartest people in the room, because you can build, as the founder, as the operational manager, you can build the systems, processes, and procedures that allow people not to think, right? And with AI being introduced, a lot of this thinking is going to be automated. You just need people that are willing to go the distance with you.
Yeah, true. But AI is changing the game. You mentioned earlier when you said how to develop some of your flaws, about how we're using love or we spoke about it. What are some of your flaws or weaknesses as Duke Belmore? We'll talk about your weaknesses and then we'll talk about your strengths.
My biggest weakness is I'm reactive.
Okay.
So as somebody that likes to create things out of spontaneity, being reactive is, I think, both a strength and a weakness. I think being proactive is the best way to run a business, when you're able to foresee situations, problems, and plan and prepare accordingly. That's why I have a CEO. That's why I have an operational team that does that on my behalf. But my biggest weakness is my reactiveness. And I think it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's definitely something that needs to be harnessed and needs to be managed effectively, because if you're reactive with your emotions, if you're reactive with how you talk to people, it can cost you more than you can imagine. It's like saying something out of anger, right? And then you sit back a couple of minutes later and you're like, I shouldn't have said that. Or I could have just waited till the next morning, or I could have just slept on that, and then tomorrow probably wouldn't have bothered me. So reactiveness is something that I think I'm working on, but I will get better on it. On that same note, Reactiveness is also a superpower because it allows you to pivot extremely quickly. If you're all about systems, processes, and procedures, and you move slowly,
One
right?
thing goes wrong, you're
Exactly. Well, you don't know how to pivot. You don't know how to move. And I think that's also kind of one of these street skills, right? Where it's like, you know how to move.
Agile.
People that know street skills, they understand what I'm talking about, which is, hey, when something goes wrong, you're there to solve the problem because you understand the reactive process. But it's a double-edged sword. I think reactiveness is definitely something that I'm working on, but it's definitely something to juggle.